Imagine this. The day you've worked so hard for finally arrives, but the people who matter most decide they need a break instead. That's exactly what happened to me on my college graduation day. My parents didn't skip the ceremony because of illness or bad traffic. No, they simply told me they wanted some time to themselves. I stood there clutching my cap in one hand, staring at their message, feeling that familiar ache of being left behind once more. Deep down, I still held onto a sliver of hope. Maybe they'd surprise me and rush in at the last second. But just as everything was about to start, my phone lit up with something that revealed exactly where I stood in their world. And believe me, that wasn't even the worst part, not yet. Graduation morning didn't play out like one of those uplifting movie scenes. It felt more like wandering through a dark house with just a single flickering bulb to guide you. For the past 4 years in that small college town, I'd balanced exhausting late-night jobs, helping younger students with their studies for tutoring, and cramming my own coursework into any spare moment I could find. Friends often teased that I had incredible self-control, but it wasn't about discipline. It was pure necessity to get by. Over time, I'd mastered the art of fading into the background so well that nobody realized the toll it took. My tiny apartment carried the faint scent of old coffee, and a vanilla candle I burned whenever I needed to pretend everything was fine. I styled my hair exactly as I'd rehearsed all week, tucking the smooth strands neatly behind my ears. In the mirror, I appeared put together. Bright eyes, gentle features, the sort of natural beauty others envy without seeing the effort it requires. Yet that image staring back felt distant, like I was acting as someone from a happier family. To outsiders, my parents seemed caring enough. They mailed birthday cards, covered Noah's extra lessons, and shared motivational posts on social media. But in our home in Seattle, Washington, favoritism ruled everything quietly and relentlessly, always favoring him. When Noah caught the flu at age 6, Mom bundled him up warmly, fed him soup by hand, and let him miss school for days. I had the exact same sickness but was simply told to hydrate and tough it out. At 12, when I finally earned a spot on a fun weekend camp trip, Mom insisted I stay home because Noah was dealing with bad dreams. "You're so responsible, Sophia," she told me, patting my arm as if it were high praise. "You always handle things right." By the time I headed off to college, that responsibility felt more like chains holding me back. Still, a stubborn part of me clung to the dream that my graduation would matter enough for them to show up. I set my phone down on the kitchen counter, glancing at it every couple of minutes. No updates. No, we're heading over now. Not even a simple emoji. The sky outside was a gentle, overcast gray that softened the edges of the world. I headed to the bus stop by myself, my gown draped carefully over my arm. The air carried the fresh smell of mowed lawns and light rain. A kind stranger smiled and said, "Congrats." For a brief instant it warmed my heart, like someone truly noticed me. Then the bus arrived with a hiss of brakes, and that feeling faded away. I boarded, swiped my pass, and claimed a window seat. My fingers lingered over the phone screen one last time, wishing for a miracle. But the only thing there was the same crushing message from earlier. The venue was alive with energy when I got there. Groups of families huddled together, fixing tassels, smoothing collars, passing around bunches of flowers that filled the air with sweet, store-bought scents. One father kept fumbling his program, while kids bickered playfully over the camera. It was messy, but in the best way, the kind of joyful chaos every big moment is supposed to have. I slipped into an open seat midway back, near enough to witness everyone else receiving the support I acted like I didn't need. A classmate from my stats course spotted me and hurried over, her arms loaded with blooms. "Sophia, huge congratulations." She pulled me into a hug, then stepped back with a bright grin. "Where's your family sitting?" That simple question hit harder than any outright cruelty. "They couldn't come," I replied quietly, the polished response I'd perfected long ago. Her face fell with genuine sympathy. "Oh no, I'm really sorry. You okay? Here, take some flowers, I have plenty." I accepted the slightly wilted pink roses gratefully. "Thanks so much," I murmured. She gave my hand a quick squeeze before heading back, leaving a hint of fresh citrus in her wake. As the event kicked off, the dean's voice boomed through the space, echoing off the walls. Names were called in a steady flow, met with enthusiastic claps, some perfectly timed, others wildly loud. I gripped the roses closer, their soft petals grazing my skin, A small sign that at least someone had thought of me, even if it wasn't who it should have been. In a brief lull, an announcement reminded everyone to snap family photos afterward to preserve those lifelong memories. Light laughter rippled through the crowd, and someone set off confetti a bit too soon. The atmosphere grew thick and overwhelming. That's probably why I checked my phone again. A desperate habit? Or maybe just to steady myself. The page loaded slowly as if hesitating. Then it refreshed, and my world tilted. Top of the feed. A picture of my parents at a cozy brunch spot. Sunlight pouring over them. Mom sported big shades, leaning affectionately toward Dad like they were on a getaway. Noah grinned between them, raising a bubbly drink with that charming smile he'd nailed years back. The one that made everything orbit around him. The caption, "Enjoying brunch with our favorite guy." My heart stopped. I reread it, the words slicing deeper each time. No hint of my big day, no sign I mattered at all. Just happy faces, delicious food, and bright light framing Mom's flawless waves. Then I noticed it. On Noah's wrist gleamed Grandpa's vintage watch, the one promised to me upon graduation. The room spun blurry around me, everything fading except that glowing image. For once the pain wasn't just hurt, it was erasure. And right then I decided silence wasn't an option anymore. Afterward I trudged back to my place on autopilot, the roses sagging limply. The sky had turned to that heavy evening dusk that weighs on everything. I unlocked the door, set the flowers aside, and perched on my bed still in my gown. The material clung like a bittersweet souvenir from a day that should have been joyful. Tears should have come or shouts, but nothing. My thoughts sharpened into crystal clarity. Out of routine, I flipped open my laptop to escape into routine tasks. That's when the alert popped up. A striking banner from the university portal. "Congratulations, Sophia. You've earned the Dean's Excellence Award." I froze, rereading in disbelief. This was the top honor handed out, reserved for just a select few each year. Most recipients celebrated wildly with loved ones. Me? My first thought. They'll come for this. Not out of real pride, but because accolades photograph well. And for once, Noah wouldn't steal the show. I pictured Mom fussing with her hair, Dad straightening up, Noah sulking nearby in that stolen watch. In that instant, staying quiet felt like enabling them all over again. I shut the laptop, crossed to my desk, and opened my notebook to a fresh page. The pen dug in deep as the words poured out, raw and ready after years of holding back. This honor belongs to everyone who waited at home. For the first time, a calm certainty washed over me. Not full peace, but resolve. Let them show up. It was time they truly listened. The Dean's Award event was intimate and elegant. Far from the massive graduation hall. Plush crimson seats, softly glowing chandeliers, deep burgundy drapes. It felt like a place for hushed triumphs. I arrived extra early, waiting backstage with the other recipients, feeling oddly composed in a new skin. From a gap in the curtain I spotted them. Front row, dead center. Mom in an elegant navy dress, hair perfectly styled, lips in her signature event red. Dad upright and poised, projecting involvement. And Noah slouched with earbuds dangling, scrolling idly, bored as if forced there. The light glinted off Grandpa's watch on his arm. A chill settled in me. Not fury, but closure. They hadn't sought me out backstage or even glanced around. They sat comfortably, treating my achievement like their latest accessory. The program started with gentle claps as winners took the stage, each praised briefly. When my turn came, I strode out under the spotlight, eyes fixed ahead. I avoided their row entirely, focusing on my prepared notes. Professor Harris introduced me warmly, highlighting my tutoring program, research, and steadfast record. Words like determination and inspiration flowing. They glanced off me. Flattery wasn't why I was here. At the microphone, I began steadily. First, thank you to the amazing faculty and fellow students who inspired and supported me through these incredible years. Safe standard opener. Then I flipped the page, drawing a curious hush. But today, let's address what we rarely discuss. The room leaned in. Many graduates have crowds cheering them on, arms full of flowers, cameras flashing. Others cross these finish lines completely solo. Tension built like gathering clouds. Some grow up thinking love is bold and unmistakable. For others, it's given only when it suits, directed where it's easiest. I sensed their shift without looking, the air changing like before rain. Kids learn young if they're the reliable type, the ones expected to understand to hold it together. And each time they do, others step away, knowing someone will handle the load. Murmurs rippled. We cheer easily for effortless stars, but we often overlook those who glow brightest under heavy burdens. I paused, letting it land. This award isn't for my family. A quiet gasp echoed. It's dedicated to everyone who waited at home. The words hung heavy, undeniable. No names needed to cut deep. Mom stiffened. Dad leaned in as if to rewrite them. Noah finally looked up. I pressed on calmly. It's for the classmates, mentors, and even kind strangers who lifted me more than blood ever did. And for any student feeling unseen, today you're visible. I closed my notes with a firm snap. The room froze in stunned quiet. Then Noah bolted upright, face crumpling, tears streaming. He tripped over feet, mumbling incoherently, and fled up the aisle, bursting through the doors with a dramatic slam. My brother stormed out crying. I stood firm as applause built, tentative then thunderous, filling the void he left. Not universal. My parents sat motionless apart, caught in a moment they never anticipated. Walking off stage, a profound truth hit. You can't lose what's never truly yours. The hallway cooled me, steps muffled, like the path ahead was clearing. Backstage, Professor Harris touched my arm gently, eyes shining. No questions, just understanding. I'd finally spoken my truth. That evening, my apartment echoed strangely silent. Still in my dress, I replayed it all, the stage, the escape, the weightlifting. Not triumph exactly, but freedom. Like emerging from flames, smoke lingering yet breathable. Notifications trickled in. Noah unfollowed, blocked chats, removed from shared accounts. It stung less than expected, like a final lock clicking. Hours later, Mom's email arrived. We need to talk. Pages of defensiveness about humiliation, claims of good intentions, zero mention of Brunch or their initial excuse. I replied simply, I gave you quiet for 20 years. One honest moment is what you owed me too. Sent. No regrets. The only shift came next day. Dad's text, a childhood photo of muddy 5-year-old me beaming with a toy shovel. Note attached. We should have been there more. Sorry. I kept it on my desk while packing for my new start in Denver, Colorado. Its sincerity soothing old scars. Forgiveness might arrive eventually or not. But I wasn't waiting anymore. I'd chosen myself. If this resonates with you, drop your experiences in the comments and subscribe for more stories that hit close to home.